Hey, listen up, people. I'm about you keep it all the way 100 with you. We're about to dive into some real talk about your finances. On God, we ain't playing no games over here. We're talking about those money mistakes, those financial faceplants, those disastrous decisions that can leave you dusties and your bank account emptier than my wallet after my kids go shopping from robbing me because my weak willpower of telling them no. We're gonna break down those bad boys, those money mishaps that can turn your dreams into nightmares. So peep game, my G's. We're talking about dodging debt like it's your crazy ex, investing smarter than your mama at a clearance sale, and saving money like it's going out of style. Why? Because 2025 is right around the corner, and we're not starting the year off broke, busted, and disgusted. We're gonna get our financial houses in order, step into the new year with confidence, and laugh all the way to the bank. So buckle up, get ready to laugh, and let's get this money. Let's talk about debt. That sneaky little monster that loves to lurk in the shadows of our wallets. It's like a ghost that haunts us, whispering in our ears, making us feel uneasy every time we think about our finances. You know what I'm talking about? Those credit card bills that show up like uninvited guests, always arriving at the worst possible time. They pile up one after another until you can't ignore them anymore. And let's not forget those student loans that follow you around longer than your shadow. They stick with you through thick and thin, reminding you of the education you paid for but are still paying off. Debt is like that friend who keeps borrowing money and never pays you back. You know the one, always promising to return it next week, but next week never comes. It starts small, just a little here and there, but before you know it, it's snowballed into this massive avalanche of, oh my God, how did I get here? It's overwhelming, suffocating, and it feels like there's no way out.
I knew this one dude. Let's call him Larry. Larry was a nice guy, always cheerful and full of life, but he had this little problem. He loved to shop. Larry was a nice guy, but he had this little problem. He loved to shop. He couldn't resist the allure of new things, the thrill of buying something shiny and new. He'd see something he liked, whip out his credit card and say, "I'll worry about it later." It was his mantra, his way of life. He believed in living in the moment, but that moment came with a price. He was the king of buy now, pay later. His closet was full, his house was cluttered, but his bank account was empty. Larry bought everything on credit: clothes, shoes, gadgets, you name it. If it caught his eye, it was as good as his. He even bought a pet parrot on credit. Can you believe that? A parrot. I mean, who does that? A parrot. It was the most extravagant, unnecessary purchase. But to Larry, it made perfect sense. Like, how much can birdseed cost, right? But it wasn't just the birdseed, it was the cage, the toys, the vet bills. It all added up. Well, Larry's little shopping sprees caught up with him. The bills started piling up and he couldn't keep up with the payments. He was drowning in debt, couldn't afford to pay his bills, and his credit score looked like my grandma's age. It was a financial disaster. Don't be like Larry, people. Debt is a trap. It may seem harmless at first, but it can quickly spiral out of control. Be mindful of your spending and don't let debt steal your dreams.
All right, let's talk about investments. Now, I'm not talking about those get-rich-quick schemes you see online. Those are about as real as a unicorn riding a roller coaster. I'm talking about smart investments, the kind that can help you build wealth over time. But here's the thing. Even smart people make dumb investment mistakes. I'm talking about those can't-miss opportunities that turn out to be bigger misses than me trying to dunk a basketball.
I had this buddy, we'll call him Jerome. Jerome was a smart dude, but he fell for this investment scam that promised to turn his life savings into a mountain of cash. They told him he was investing in some revolutionary new technology, a self-cleaning sock. Jerome was all in. He cashed out his retirement fund, sold his car, and even tried to pawn his mama's dentures. He thought he was about to be rolling in sock money. Well, you guessed it. The whole thing was a scam. The self-cleaning sock never materialized, and Jerome was left with nothing but a bunch of dirty socks and a whole lot of regret. Don't be like Jerome, people. Do your research, invest wisely, and don't fall for those get-rich-quick schemes.
Chapter 3. Savings, your secret weapon. Let's talk about savings, the superhero of personal finance. Saving money is like brushing your teeth. It's not always the most exciting thing in the world, but it's essential for your financial health.
You see, when you have savings, you're prepared for anything. Unexpected expense? No problem. Dream vacation? Let's go. Zombie apocalypse? Bring on the brain-eating hordes.
I knew this one lady. We'll call her Brenda. Brenda was a free spirit, loved to have fun, and believed in living life to the fullest. The only problem was, Brenda didn't believe in saving money. She spent every dime she earned and then some.
One day, Brenda's car decided to take an early retirement. The engine blew up, the transmission went kaput, and the whole thing was about as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Brenda needed a new car, and she needed it fast. But Brenda had a problem. She had no savings. She'd spent all her money on shoes, handbags, and those little umbrella drinks with the paper umbrellas.
Brenda ended up having to sell her prized possession, a velvet painting of a chihuahua wearing a sombrero. Don't be like Brenda, people. Save your money. Chapter 4. Budgeting. It's not a dirty word. Alright, let's talk about budgeting. It's a topic that often gets a bad rap, but it's actually a powerful tool for financial freedom. Now, I know what you're thinking. Budgeting? Really? That sounds about as fun as a root canal, but hear me out. But trust me, budgeting doesn't have to be a drag. In fact, it can be quite empowering.
It's all about taking control of your money and making it work for you. Imagine having a clear plan for every dollar you earn. Think of your budget like a personal trainer for your finances. Just as a trainer helps you get fit, a budget helps you get financially fit. It helps you get in shape, stay disciplined, and maintain a healthy financial lifestyle, and reach your financial goals. Whether it's saving for a vacation, paying off debt, or building an emergency fund. Plus, when you stick to a budget, you'll be surprised at how much extra money you have at the end of the month. You'll find yourself with more financial freedom to enjoy the things you love. You might even be able to afford that diamond-encrusted back scratcher you've always wanted, or perhaps something more practical.
One of the keys to successful budgeting is to track your spending. This means being aware of every dollar that leaves your pocket. I'm talking about knowing where your money is going, every single dollar. This awareness is crucial. You can use a fancy app, a spreadsheet, or even a good old-fashioned notebook. Whatever works for you. The important thing is consistency. The method doesn't matter as much as the habit of tracking.
Another helpful tip is to create a fun money category in your budget. This is essential for maintaining balance and avoiding burnout. This is money you can spend on whatever you want, guilt-free. It's your reward for sticking to your budget. Go ahead, treat yourself to that extra scoop of ice cream, or that special treat you've been eyeing. Buy that ridiculous hat you've been eyeing, and enjoy the little pleasures in life, or splurge on a weekend getaway. These moments are what make life enjoyable. Just make sure you stick to your allotted fun money amount. This way, you can enjoy without guilt and stay on track with your financial goals.
Chapter 5. Emergency Fund. Your financial safety net. Let's talk about emergency funds, the superheroes of personal finance. These funds are like your financial first responders, always ready to swoop in and save the day when things go awry. An emergency fund is like that friend who always has your back, no matter what kind of crazy situation you find yourself in. It's the financial cushion that keeps you from hitting rock bottom when life throws you a curveball.
You see, life is full of surprises, and not all of them are good. Sometimes these surprises can be downright nasty and catch you completely off guard. Your car could break down, you could lose your job, or your pet iguana could decide to develop a taste for expensive imported furniture. Trust me, it happens. These unexpected events can put a serious dent in your finances if you're not prepared. That's where your emergency fund comes in. It's your financial safety net, a buffer that helps you manage those unforeseen expenses without derailing your financial stability. It's a stash of cash that you set aside specifically for those unexpected expenses, those financial curveballs that life throws your way. Think of it as your personal financial insurance policy. Having an emergency fund can mean the difference between weathering the storm and going financially overboard. It's the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major financial crisis.
I had this cousin, we'll call him Daryl. Daryl was a great guy, always cheerful and optimistic, but he never saw the need for an emergency fund. Now, Daryl was a good dude, but he was not about that emergency fund life. He lived in the moment, enjoying life to the fullest, and never worried about what could go wrong. He figured, hey, nothing bad ever happens to me. Famous last words, right? He thought he was invincible, that nothing could disrupt his carefree lifestyle.
Well, one day, Daryl's luck ran out. It was a regular Tuesday when everything changed for him. His beloved pet parrot, Paco, decided to go on a hunger strike. Paco was more than just a pet, he was family to Daryl. Daryl tried everything to get Paco to eat seeds, fruits, nuts, even tiny tacos. Nothing worked. He was desperate and didn't know what to do. Daryl rushed Paco to the vet, and that's when he got hit with the bill. A bill that looked like the national debt of a small country. The cost was astronomical. Turns out, Paco had a rare avian digestive disorder that required a team of specialists and a steady diet of organic, gluten-free birdseed flown in from the Swiss Alps. The treatment was going to be long and expensive. Daryl was devastated. He didn't have the money to pay for Paco's treatment, and he couldn't bear the thought of losing his feathered friend. It was a heartbreaking situation. He didn't have the money to pay for Paco's treatment, and he couldn't bear the thought of losing his feathered friend. It was a heartbreaking situation that could have been avoided with a little financial foresight. Don't be like Daryl, people. Learn from his mistake and take action now. Start building your emergency fund today. It's never too early or too late to start. Your future self will thank you for it.
So there you have it, folks. We've covered the 5 financial mistakes that can keep you broke in 2025, from drowning in debt to investing in self-cleaning socks. Seriously, don't do that. But remember, knowledge is power, and now that you know the pitfalls, you can avoid them like the plague. It's time to take control of your finances and make 2025 your best year yet. Start by tackling those debts, investing wisely, and building up your savings. And don't forget about that emergency fund. You never know when Paco the parrot might need another gluten-free snack. Now I want to hear from you. What are your financial goals for 2025? Drop them in the comments below and let's hold each other accountable. And hey, if you need some extra help with budgeting, be sure to check out my previous video. I promise it's more entertaining than watching paint dry.